Hello and welcome back. This is the first match of our recent draft.
Hi, I'm Alex.
And I'm Tom. Alex is my 13-year-old son. We drafted a... How many colors do we have in our deck, Alex? Four. Four-color green control deck without as much fixing as we would really like. But let's start out here, Alex. What do you think, mulligan or keep?
I think we keep because we have the cutting survivor and we can cycle the striker with a Rinder to get an extra 1 damage in.
Yeah, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 plays. So we'll lead with an island just in case we decide we need to cycle, or not expecting to.
Have both our red sources.
We do, but this is not a strongly red deck, actually. This is a blue-green based deck, kind of splashing red for kind of the only reason you would splash a single double red card in this format, and splashing black for a few solid cards like Decimator Beetle and Banewhip Punisher. So now, Alex, what do you think we plan to do with this turn?
We may want to attack and cycle for an extra 1 damage.
I agree, and I'm going to do that before I play land, because if I get a green source, I can play Feral Prowler this turn. Which one do we cycle?
Strike your Rinder, because we're less likely to be able to play it.
Cycle a 7-drop before the 6-drop. That seems reasonable.
We both have the same power and toughness, and in case we ever get Abandoned Sarcophagus working, we can play it back later.
That's true. And we could have played that this turn, although it doesn't seem like a great play. Did not draw another mana source, and we're going to get burned out here. If we had blue up, we could consign our own creature back. We'll pass the turn. Next turn, if we draw land, we'll probably play Naga Oracle.
Just think, if only we had taken that Manalith over the Feral Prowler, we would have a Manalith in our hand right now.
Yeah, I think a Manalith might have turned out to be better, although it was very early in the draft and we didn't know we would be trying to do so many different colors here. So options here are Sarcophagus holding up a cycle, and just wait on cycle and consign. But I think I want to see what I can find first. If I can dig to Glorybringer, I will definitely do so. Well, since we have the Sarcophagus, I'm comfortable throwing Wander in Death into the graveyard. I don't think a cycling land is going to get used anytime soon here, so I'm just going to keep the forest on top. And pass the turn. We're going to take some damage from this Magma Roth. We might be lucky and our opponent is not able to keep it big, and it dwindles until it doesn't matter anymore. Next turn we're going to probably plan on playing the Feral Prowler and the Abandoned Sarcophagus. Planning to just chump block with the Feral Prowler, or possibly double block on the Magma Roth. We're also holding up Consign. So we'll keep double blue ready. Or we could play the Sarcophagus, Alex. What do you think? We could keep our flexibility by having cycling and consign up, or we could get the Sarcophagus down now.
I like that, because if he spends mana for the Frontline Devastator,
you like which one? So I don't...
I like consign, because if he spends mana on Frontline Devastator, you can bounce it.
Yes. Also, if we play Abandoned Sarcophagus this turn, are we likely to use it next turn?
No.
No, we're not likely to use it until we get up to 7 or possibly 6 mana. So I think Alex is correct. We'll leave up our 2 tricks here, or a trick and a cycler. I'll always yield to that -1/-1 counter because it's going to keep happening. Here I'm kind of leaning towards double blocking the Frontline Devastator. Or just chumping.
Your Oracle can bounce off the Magma Roth.
So here are my options. I can take a lot of damage if this keeps going because of Afflict. So I'm a little worried about that. I could double block the Magma Roth to kill it and bounce the Devastator. I could chump and have these two bounce off of each other.
And take 2 damage, but
take 2 damage from a flick, drawing a card.
I think it would be very useful right now to draw your card.
Alright, I agree. Plus, if he has a trick of some kind, then we can bounce the Magmaroth.
Uh-oh.
Consign. Ah, well.
Oh, and he's gonna kill our... Yes, this would be a great time to consign.
Consign, consign. I've traded mine for yours. Nope, no, I just have 6 and did not mean to undo. F3 undoes.
F8?
I put my F8 back on. I'm just waiting to end step. See, he did not have enough mana to replay his Magmaroth. If he did, I might have considered not bouncing that, because just replaying it is pretty bad for us. We do have black, so I can force him. Now my options are to use Oblivion, consigning myself to taking probably 3 damage next turn. I could banish Prowler on the Devastator.
Oh,
yes?
when he plays a Magmaroth, it gets counters every turn. You can put a counter on the frontline Devastator.
Yes.
And then sacrifice your Bane Punisher
to kill the Magmaroth. Very good, Alex. I was going to get to that, and you thought of it first. So I think we're going to go Banewhip Punisher, Prowler, and do we attack with our Oracle? What do you think?
I kind of like having it up as a blocker. Because if he plays Magmaroth, he's not going to have mana for frontline Devastator, and if he doesn't raise his frontline Devastator, actually, even if he does, he will kill the frontline Devastator.
Now it will, correct. So, and with considering that, do you want to play Sarcophagus instead, which will let us play River Serpent next turn, or strike Riverwinder if I draw something?
I think I like Sparkly Sarcophagus.
I think so too. I don't need the Feral Prowler this turn. I've got 2 blockers. If I decide not to block for some reason, I'm just going to take 2 plus the pump. I do want to consider keeping black mana up.
For our Punisher?
Yes. Now here's something to consider though, Alex, is if I activate Banewhip Punisher when it has -1/-1 counter on it, what happens if he casts a non-creature spell in response?
Can you right click so I can see what it does? It would still sacrifice because it's part of the cost, but would it destroy it because it doesn't have -1/-1 counter on it anymore?
Correct, so it would fizzle.
It would fizzle, but your Punisher would still die.
Yes, so let's see if he pumps twice here to take out my Oracle. Honestly, if he spends 4 mana doing that this turn, I'm pretty happy about it.
It's a sort of a 1 for... It's a 1 for 2.
And he's doing it, but he's not going to play his Magmaroth again this turn unless he has a... unless he has... No, he's not... Period. He's not going to play his Magmaroth. That's an interesting choice there. Now I've got options. I can play Wander in Death. I can play Oblivion. I can play River Serpent. If I play River Serpent, I'm not leaving up Banewhip, but Banewhip won't be able to kill it this turn anyway. He does have the discard 2, which I need to be considering. Right now I discard Tenacious Hunter and Feral Prowlers, and I think I'm okay with that. If he spends his turn doing that, I might come back at him. I think I'm playing this Oracle. The River Serpent. Sorry, the River Serpent.
And we have more than enough cards in our graveyard right now.
We do. So he's got Magmaroth. He hasn't played a land in a turn or 2, so there we go. There's 4, so he's maybe be able to do 2 spells this turn.
Anticore Eternal.
How do I deal with this, Alex?
You could ambuscade, but then you lose your River Serpent.
I do not, because ambuscade is not fighting.
Oh, that's right.
Ambuscade is a punch.
Yes.
Now the question is, Alex, do I play the Forest and the Feral Prowler, or do I save the Forest as discard, something to discard to his my opponent's Oblivion? I could Wander in Death my Naga Oracle and my Striped Riverwinder. That is something to consider too.
Ooh.
Thoughts? But if I do that, this River Serpent can't attack anymore, so I'm not going to do that.
Yes.
So I'm going to Feral Prowler, leaving up red-blue. So opponent plays land and spell or 2 spells. It would be a great time to Oblivion. There's the Magmaroth. Okay, so now if I Oblivion him, and if I Oblivion him, his hand will be empty. He will get the counter on his upkeep, and before he can draw a non-creature spell, I will be able to kill it. Yep. So I'm not going to attack with my River Serpent this turn. I'm going to make sure I have enough mana. I think, honestly, the first thing I want to do is just empty my hand so his Oblivion becomes useless. So I am going to play my Tenacious Hunter, leaving up all 4 colors of mana just because.
For controlling purposes.
And then I'm going to pass to him. I have a stop on his upkeep. Once that happens, I then have priority again. Oh! No, I wasn't thinking. But I was thinking I was going to Oblivion him, and I can't do that and the Bane Whip Punisher. I'm thinking, honestly, this turn, I just let him have it. Wait till he has 2. Wait till he has 2 counters on it. Be a little bit safer. He can't...
Then Oblivion at the end of the turn.
If he attacks into me, all I'm doing is chumping with my Feral Prowler. He cycles a desert.
Are you going to Oblivion at the end of the turn?
Oblivion is a sorcery.
It is?
Yep.
Aw.
I'd attack if I were him. Yeah. But all I'm doing is chumping.
Yay, more cards.
The problem is I do not have double black to be able to kill this. But it's also going down to a 3/3 next turn.
Why do we need double black to kill it?
Well, if I'm going to cast Oblivion and activate its ability. Essence Scatter. Well, that's a good thing to keep up the rest of the game. So here we see that Abandoned Sarcophagus is doing a fair amount of good. We have tons of options every turn. And opponent has something huge, and we are going to Essence Scatter that. Not that we can't deal with it, but spending 2 mana to blank his 6 mana spell seems quite good. And actually, since he is tapped out now, I'm just going to kill this at the moment.
That would be fun.
I think I am going to just see what the last card in his hand is. If I play the Traveler's Amulet, what am I getting with it, Alex?
Blue.
Why do you think blue? Electrify, huh? That was actually a really good thing to get out.
I don't know. We have so much. It feels like it doesn't really matter much at this point.
It doesn't. Since we're the lowest in black, do you think we need to get another black?
Don't we have one black?
That's a good question. Do we only have 1 black swamp? I believe that's correct. If we could get black, would you do it here?
Probably. Because we haven't... Although, at this point, I think we've played most of our black cards.
And opponent concedes. So, I probably would have gotten blue there because our other black spells, none of them are double. I think we only have 1 remaining. The Bane Whip Punisher, Wandering Death, the back half of Consigned to Oblivion, and we have a Decimator Beetle.
Yes.
And we might want to do more than 2 blue things in a turn, possibly, just because we have options in the graveyard. So, opponent is looking at his deck here. He's splashing a 2-drop, which does not seem ideal, although perhaps black is actually his splash color and he's red-blue. That would make more sense with the Magmaroth. We saw several red burn spells. His red burn spells are not going to be able to deal with our 5/5s.
He's quite heavily in red.
He doesn't look all that aggressive. We see 1 2-drop. After that, his creatures didn't start until 4. So we'll take a look at sideboards. I don't plan on going into a more aggressive build. The Illusory Wrappings looks interesting because hitting the 5/4 Menace turns it off completely. Putting it on the Magmaroth means the Magmaroth dies in a couple turns instead of 5 turns, barring any non-creature spells. I'm looking through, and he does have a lot of big fat creatures, so Winds of Rebuke is pretty good. He has a lot of burn spells, so saving our own creatures is good.
Things to take out.
Probably the Cunning Survivor.
Yeah.
Is for the
because that open fire just.
I don't appear to need it, and I'm on the draw, so I'm not going to be attacking aggressively with it. So let's go with that. What do you think of this hand, Alex?
We have a Feral Prowler. We have Winds of Rebuke to save it if we really want to.
We can use every card in our hand.
Yes.
Either through cycling or through actually casting.
Was actually really good for our deck.
Sarcophagus came out well. Yeah, I was that's the first time I've ever played with it in a deck, and I was happy how it worked. Now I actually misread the card for quite a long time until I actually saw it played against me. I missed the part. I read carefully the part that says that if a card would go into your a card with cycling would go into your graveyard, exiled instead. I was missing the part that says and it wasn't cycled. So I thought you just cycled everything and then you were done. And you at that point you could only just cast things.
I thought you had to. We thought you had to like build up a.
What do we do here, Alex? Prowler or Amulet?
I think we Amulet.
No, definitely not. We may just draw a mana naturally next turn. If we don't, we can still play the Amulet and play it. But we need a blocker for that Lab Guardian. Because we do not have another creature for 2 more turns. So if we do not have this here, you're talking about taking at least 4 damage. Opponent doesn't even bother attacking it. So there we draw it naturally. So here our options are quite a lot. We could play Sarcophagus. But as we saw last game, there's not really a reason to do that early. We could hold up Countervailing Winds as a Force Spike, counter target spell unless its controller plays 1. Or we could Amulet, holding up Winds of Rebuke plus cycling. What do you think, Alex?
I like playing the Amulet because a little bit of ramp would be useful.
I agree. Because we could cycle and crack the Amulet at the end of next turn. I think that's what I would most likely to do, because I really want to hit that last land drop to get to 4. Now the question is, what do I go get with it, Alex?
Spectre Swamp Mountain.
I agree, and I would get a Swamp here because we have several black creatures. Now, which one do you block, Alex? You could block the Sure Shot with the plan of bouncing it to his hand when he pumps it once.
Or you could block the Sure Shot with the plan of
it dying, but it's saving us 2 damage a turn right now, so I think I'm going to leave it here because I want to do this Traveler's Amulet, like I said before. And we can... Do we cycle the River Serpent before or after we crack the Amulet?
Depends on whether or not we want to draw land.
We don't have anything in our hand that costs more than 4, so right now I don't want to. Countervailing Winds has now gotten much better. It's 3. Ooh, could we kill anything? We could. Okay, so we have options now. This deck is very good at having options. I like it. Let's play our blue right now because we don't care about having black now or double black for anything later. And we may want to use 2 different blue things this... we can't do 2 different blue things this turn, I guess. So our options here are Ambuscade plus nothing, or Naga Oracle, or Sarcophagus plus nothing, or Winds of Rebuke, holding up Winds of Rebuke and Countervailing Winds.
Holding up Countervailing Cycle.
We could do both. That's possible, yes. I think I like getting the Oracle down though, because it blocks his entire board, and it's going to give us information about our next 3 turns, up to 3 turns. Ooh, another Ambuscade. I'm thinking of binning the forest, keeping Essence Scatter on top, because next turn we can Essence Scatter plus Ambuscade.
So we put the Ambuscade on first.
Yep, so we're not going to put that in the graveyard. We're going to put the Ambuscade on, because we already have one in our hand. We can't cast two in the same turn.
We're 4 minutes, 3.5 minutes behind.
We are. I am learning that I play about 20% slower when I'm talking. Something I'm going to try to get better at it as I go, but I do want to stop at times and talk with you, Alex, about plays and ask your opinion on things and pose little puzzles for you, because I think that makes it interesting. I just hope it doesn't wind up timing me out. But if it does, here we're talking about this fun versus winning thing.
Yes.
All right, so opponent would have to attack with all three to guarantee to get anything through, and if he attacks with all three,
he loses his
Firebrand Archer.
I think we Naga Oracle on the Guardian and Prowler on the Sure Shot.
I was thinking of double blocking the Sure Shot. If he's got an open fire, he still doesn't kill both creatures. And if
he pumps,
he can kill the Naga Oracle, but we kill the Sure Shot.
Fair enough. Because it's only fire breathing.
Yep, and
it's half breathing.
And we are at 18. We're not in desperate. Now, if we'd taken a couple hits from that Labyrinth Guardian, I'd have a very different question right now. Electrify. See, now that's worse. We're still not losing both, actually. The Feral Prowler. So now we are going to just simply hold up both of those, I believe. Or let's see. Yeah, because we can block it in combat and then ambuscade afterwards to kill it. We'll also be holding up Countervailing Winds plus Essence Scatter, or Countervailing Winds plus Winds of Rebuke. See, it's very good to have that double blue at this point. We're having options, Alex, and having options when you're playing Magic is powerful. We can do so many different things next turn. We can Ambuscade plus Scatter, Ambuscade plus Winds, Ambuscade plus Cycle Winds. We can Countervailing Winds plus Winds of Rebuke plus Essence Scatter. We can cycle that.
Suffering Winds.
Alright, so here, once again, I think we... We could put it here, and then he pumps. And in return, we kill it. Or... we don't kill it, and we kill the Firebrand Archer, but we bounce the Sure Shot. But if he's not going to pump, I'm just going to leave it alone.
Which one are you blocking?
Blocking the Sure Shot. If he's not pumping, probably means he's got a 6-drop, or not.
Or a 4-drop.
Alright, so in this case, we're going to use Feral Prowler to kill the Sure Shot. If he tries anything, we had Wings of Rebuke up. He doesn't. So the question is now, do we Winds of Rebuke something there? Do we Countervailing Winds? I don't think we do either, honestly. Both of them are things we want to be doing against him. He may have one of the 2 Flash Blue Flyers. That's a possibility. There's our second Ambuscade. We could use it now to kill the Firebrand Archer.
What did we use the first Ambuscade for?
To kill the Minotaur Sure Shot after combat, because he chose not to pump it.
Oh. I see.
Let's see what the opponent does. Once we get to 6 mana, I may play Abandoned Sarcophagus. There's 7 from opponent. May just be mana flooded. If he had 6 mana and didn't do anything for both turns there.
I wonder if he didn't pump his...
If he goes to his end step, I'm going to just kill this. I may play Abandoned Sarcophagus next turn if I draw a land. Holding up Countervailing Winds or Essence Scatter. Or I may just play a Decimator Beetle, because that's quite good.
That's quite worthy.
Opponent may be playing around a counterspell, but the nice thing about a bounce spell like Winds of Rebuke, you bounce it to their hand, and when they try to replay it, you just counter it then.
And Winds of Rebuke plus countervailing winds is better than just countervailing winds.
What happens if I try to Winds of Rebuke his Labyrinth Guardian, Alex?
He sacrifices it.
Aww, Puncturing Blow. That's unfortunate.
He sacrifices it and your Winds of Rebuke.
He does. I think I just block here and take and draw. We're going to draw. And we get another land. We're one short of hard casting that.
We might want to cycle it for more options since we're soon going to be able to hard cast it anyways with the Abandoned Sarcophagus.
We're going to get the Abandoned Sarcophagus out with the plan of probably Essence Scatter plus Riverwinder and taking 2 damage. Interestingly, what happens to the second half of this spell if I cast it on Labyrinth Guardian, Alex?
Spell fizzles because it does not have any more legal targets.
Right, so you don't get the mill effect from it.
If we're a target player, we still stay because it's still a high legal target.
Correct.
But to pass it, you have to have.
What about that creature's controller?
We still fizzle because it's not target.
I'm not 100% sure of that one. All right, so here we have nothing, so we could Winds plus cycle the Riverwinder, just so we save 2 damage. What do you think?
I kind of like that, yeah.
Let's cycle this Riverwinder first and see what we get. Ooh, Consign to Oblivion.
I like that better than Winds.
I do too. I think I'm just going to cast Oblivion on my opponent's next turn, get 2 cards out of their hand. Pretend like we can hold up Unsummon here. See what our opponent was holding on to all this time. Could be Burn Spells, Bone Picker.
What does that do?
It's a black flyer that has a Death Touch, and you can cast it for just black if a creature died this turn. So
that's interesting.
So he's holding something. Probably not a land. Probably an actual spell of some kind. We can't counter this. Ooh, all right. So we're gonna plan on probably. Let's see. We could kill it with Banewhip Punisher.
Yes, if we have it with Survivor's Enchantment.
Yep, so let's do that, holding up as much blue as possible.
Because everything's blue. Yeah, that card's...
Yes, because our opponent doesn't... our opponent's playing blue, so he might have bounce, so I kind of like doing it on his upkeep. I could wait to see if he has a haste creature to attack with, but haste creatures, the 2 of them, I had this conversation last time, the 2 of them in red both would make Banewhip Punisher unable to block anyway. Tap an untapped creature, make black. And we've got 2 counter spells and a bounce spell we're holding up. So this is how a control deck plays, Alex. You just, he is going to unsummon it. So I could counterspell that.
I think we want to counterspell that.
No, I'm just going to counter, because he's going to use up his mana. He's going to recast it right now.
And you're just going to counter it.
And I'm going to counter it. Right. Am I going to counter it with Countervailing Winds or Essence Scatter?
Essence Scatter.
Because?
Because it's cheaper, Essence Scatter is conditional.
I agree. The reason to cast Countervailing Winds would be because it costs 1 more mana and we'd be using our mana more efficiently. But I think here, keeping the general answer is more important. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
You have enough for all those cards.
We do, but then we're not holding up Countervailing Winds. But he's only got 1 card in hand, so I think we're just going to get the Hexproof creature down. My question is, do I cycle Desert of the Mindful or do I play it? What do you think, Alex? No, ask that question.
Cycle or play? I think we cycle it. I don't think it'll be that much fun. Although we can't make it look like we're holding up an unsummon.
Well, it comes into the battlefield tapped, so wouldn't be good until next turn.
But in the future, when we play if we play Riverwinder...
Lab Guardian is back. That doesn't really accomplish anything.
It's a 2/3.
Yep. So we attack here. I can bounce that at any time to kill it permanently. I'm going to play my other 7-drop here. Actually, I thought of a reason to play this Desert of the Mindful, Alice, because next turn when I bring back River Serpent, I'm going to have 2 mana up, and that'll leave up Winds of Rebuke.
Yeah.
Red-blue is not going to have very much they can do against Striped Riverwinder.
Twice.
Magmaroth would be pretty good.
Wait, have you played them twice?
I have 2 of them.
Okay. Sorry.
That's all right, Alex. We'll go to attacks first. This game looks like it's pretty much in the bag. Some kind of Wrath effect. There aren't any that deal 5 damage. No, Hour of Devastation is 5 damage to each creature. Yeah, so Hour of Devastation is something to consider. Might be a reason to keep up countervailing winds. I've got the win on the board, so I'm thinking of just doing little stuff like Wall instead of bringing back a 6-drop. So just in case my opponent has Hour of Devastation, Nicol Bolas, something like that.
We have enough to bring back a 6-drop.
Not and cast countervailing winds.
Oh, okay.
And we win the match.
Yay!
High fives all around. Shake hands. Very well done, sir. So, Abandoned Sarcophagus. What did you think?
That card is really fun. It works very well.
It's fun and it's good. Now, is it good in every deck?
No.
No. It's only good in what kind of decks?
Cycling. New perspectives.
Let's see. For new perspectives, cycling costs are 0 if you have 7 cards in your hand.
So you can permanently cycle cards over and over again.
Correct. And it also, when you cast it, you draw 3 cards, I think, right? When it enters the battlefield, I believe. Yeah, especially in decks where you're cycling creatures. And as we saw, having Wander in Death as something you can cast or cycle, and then once you have an Abandoned Sarcophagus, recast it again is crazy good value, and we like value here.
I was going to say earlier, you can cycle the countervailing winds and then play it, so it's a 3-mana counterspell or it's a 5-mana counterspell cantrip.
You're right, we could have put it in the graveyard for cycling if we needed to at any time. There's a very small risk there that if opponent had some kind of artifact destruction, we would lose the ability to play it, or we would have to spend the counterspell on like a Braid, for example.
Yes.
When we might rather have it for something else. But that's a pretty corner case. I think we were going to be doing pretty well no matter what. Well, this is the end of our first match, but it's probably the end of the night for us. We're going to call it night here. And for those of you watching at home, you won't even know any time has passed because our next video will start real soon. So thanks for watching. Have a good night. Hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you. Bye.